Hello and welcome to another video, and today I'll be comparing the Blockade and the Antagonist. These are two seraph shields that can be acquired in the Tiny Tina DLC. They are probably the best shields in the game for just overall tanking, all the way up to the higher levels and in OP8. Both these shields are very good and they both do very similar things, and that is A, just be an all-round strong shield, and B, have a way of reducing the amount of incoming damage, thus increasing the effect of their already good round stats. Now if we look at the Blockade has 1400 capacity, 2500 recharge rate and a 1.79 second recharge delay. With these particular parts, I do believe I've got all around the best parts for the shield. I think they are the same as well, so these are as equal as I can get it. Looking at these stats straight off the bat, the Antagonist has got quite a bit more capacity, 500,000 more in fact, but the recharge rate is a lot higher on the Blockade. The delay are both very similar, both very low. The Antagonist at 1.43 seconds and the Blockade at 1.79. So for it to take these stats straight into perspective, it'd be which one you'd prefer, the extra 500,000 capacity or the extra 500,000 recharge rate. Both will regenerate very, very quickly after not taking fire for very long, so you can dip into cover and fully recharge both these shields very quickly, but the Blockade will do it much faster. The Blockade will be able to fully recharge its shield within 5 seconds, whereas the Antagonist will take 10 seconds. So quite a big difference there overall, but both will recharge fairly quickly, and the Antagonist will be able to get over the total capacity of the Blockade when recharging fairly quickly anyway. Now to test these shields, I'll be doing it in a duel against a character with 0 damage reduction in any of their skills, just to fully test my 100 damage sniper rifle. It'll do 100 damage to the body precisely, so that'll allow me to properly test the damage resistances of both these shields. Now the Antagonist has a large deflection chance of 50%, it will reflect the bullets for a much greater bullet damage, and have a 49% damage reduction. Now this only affects bullets, which is the main problem with the Antagonist. However, it will send out launching homing balls of slag at attackers, which is a nice bonus. The Blockade just provides a flat major damage resistance when fully charged, and then after that it'll be a moderate damage resistance. Now note how it says damage resistance, and this one says damage reduction. As it happens in this game, the way it's calculated, damage reduction is a different thing. It's also a much better thing. Damage resistance can stack with other damage resistances, but if you get over 100% damage resistance, it will not completely get rid of all damage coming in. If you manage to, however, stack 100% damage reduction, which I don't think you can, yeah, that'll make you immortal. But it won't do that, unfortunately. You can't get 100% damage reduction. So overall damage reduction is the stronger of the two. I'm not fully sure the full differences, but I'll just put them in the same light for the purpose of this video, and we'll have a look at the damage resistances in a second. So that's shooting the Blockade when it's a full shield, lower shield, no shield, and regenerating shield. I found that it gives the same bonus all the way through and does not do what it says on the card. It lowered the damage from 100 to 68, so it gave us a flat 32% damage resistance, which is pretty impressive considering that's going to take effect for the entire time you are alive. The Antagonist, however, was very different. Because of the chance-based reduction, it only lowered the damage of some of the shots, but not others. When it did, however, it lowered the shot down to 51%, so a 49% damage reduction, like it says on the card. But because this only happens 50% of the time, it's safe to assume and say that overall it balances out to an approximate 25% damage reduction, which is lower than that of the Blockade. And this also only happens when the shield is active, not passing through into health. So the Blockade clearly gives us a lot more tank. Does that mean it's better? Not necessarily. The Antagonist has a lot of utility, which involves bullet reflection, sending out slag balls, and when it comes to high levels in OP, the bullet reflection isn't going to do much even with that extra damage it's not going to be changing any fights. The most it can really do to help you is reflect a shot that would otherwise apply an elemental effect. The slag balls also become less effective within the OP levels due to the reduced chance to slag the enemy, and there is always a chance to slag yourself, which is definitely not what you want to do. And when it comes between choosing to say, I'd say it comes down to two factors. The first being whether or not you're playing within the OP levels, in which I choose the Antagonist because of the increased chance to slag if you are in the lower levels. But only against projectile or gun-based enemies, because that is the only thing the Antagonist helps you against. Otherwise, I take the Blockade. I'd say that has the overall advantage, especially since it goes into health, so, and, well, you will be in health a lot of the time in OP8, so I'll probably say the Blockade is better overall. However, it does come down to personal preference. Both shields are perfectly capable of tanking players all the way up to OP8, it's just that Blockade does it a little bit better. However, if you're fighting gun-based enemies, then you'll also be slagging the enemies at the same time, so you don't have to worry that as much, and I have noticed that come through clutch occasionally. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.